I really hate editing photos, especially when, say, you come off a vacation and you have 800 plus images. I'm not editing those. So I love the Fuji X100 line because of this. Video linked below on why I love these cameras. But if you don't want to check it out, the main reason why I like the cameras is because you don't have to edit the final photos. I get the look I want in camera just through using their simulations. So I have seven different simulations that I use and have saved in my X100F. And I keep a note in my phone that has each one labeled because, let's be honest, who's gonna have a memory good enough to remember what each one of these are? I also have the native ISO written for each one. All right, let me run through which simulations I use and a little of why I use them. Number 1, 1979. 1979 is my everyday setting. It's soft, nostalgic, has good saturation. It's how I wish real life looked. Kodak Ultramax. This is the newest. I've been in a nostalgic mood, and this one reminds me of the photos from the 90s. My family was photographed with this stuff. This one documented my childhood. I've been using this one for special moments recently. Something about the nostalgia in it that I'm really into right now. Leica Like, or Leica Light. This is like Canon. This is EOS standard. The image just looks good. Sharp, colorful. This one is when you want a real true to life image. I don't use it often, but when I need something that makes this sensor pop, I'm going for this one. Radiant Chrome. This one I planned on trying when traveling last year and ended up just making its way into the rotation. It's contrasty, so be aware if you're in harsh light, but the tones you can get out of it are incredible. This is one when it works, and there's nothing else like it. Cinestill 800T. This is really a specialty one. It's gritty, has that high ASA look. I shoot this one like I'm shooting video. It has the look that I go for in my cinematography. Leica Black and White. I can't say enough about this one. This feels like perfect black and white. It's sharp, the contrast. I love it. This is the perfect portrait simulation in my opinion. Finally, my absolute favorite, pushed Tri-X. If I had an unlimited supply of any film, it would be Tri-X 400. There's something about pushing it. This simulation is the way I want to capture the world. The only reason I use 1979 a similar amount to this one is because of the colors. As much as I love black and white, for nostalgia purposes, I'd like my past not to feel like Kansas.
Somewhere over the rainbow.
The unique thing about this Tri-X is that you're shooting it at 12,800 ISO. I know that seems silly, but the high ISO grain on this camera in black and white, try it out. I'm telling you, try it out.
There are probably hundreds of Fuji simulations out there, but these are currently the 7 that match every situation and lighting style that I find myself in. Now, the obvious downfall is you're not getting a raw image. So if you can't accept not shooting raw, this probably isn't for you then. Yeah, you can set your camera up to RAW and JPEG, and just in case you need to come back to those RAW files later and give them another look, you have that. I've done it before, but that's not how I use my X100. I use it so I don't have to edit. The other downfall that I found is the time it takes to change your simulations and your native ISOs. You can set some hotkeys on your camera and it helps, but changing always feels tedious to me. It's never a quick change when I need to adapt to a new lighting situation or coming from outside to inside. It's a bit of a pain. It's also why I have them written down in my notes so I can quickly reference those before I go out and shoot to try and jog that memory again and remember which black and white setting is number 6 or which one is number 7. Right? It's a small problem, but it's one of those things that is a slight irritation to me when I'm using it. So I definitely suggest writing down which sims you have saved in which slot. I also find it helps if you have varying simulations that you use in certain conditions. Put them in order for how often you will use those. That's something I need to do on mine because mine are all over the place. The two I use most are number 1 and number 7, and scrolling between them, that's a pain.
I spent a long time finding simulations that I liked. So hopefully this showed you some new ones and maybe you found one you liked in here. I'll link down below where I found all these. But I also want to know, what are your favorite simulations? Drop them down below. I want to check them out. But until the next one, thank you so much for watching. Peace.